Hi, I'm Chaplain John Denny. I'm the full-time support chaplain for the South Carolina National Guard.
Hi, I'm Brigadier General Jeff Jones. I'm the Deputy Adjutant General for South Carolina.
Hi, I'm Chief Master Sergeant Kevin Thomas, the Command Senior Enlisted Leader for the South Carolina National Guard.
And hi, I'm Ruth Ellis, one of 7 behavioral health specialist contractors for the South Carolina National Guard.
And we want to talk to you directly about just the strength of the force, the wellness of the force, and specifically me. I want to address each of you. And I think it's imperative that y'all know that you matter, that you are valued, and that God does not make mistakes. You may feel like you're struggling and that there's no one else that can understand those struggles, but I'm here to urge you to understand that those struggles do not define you. Rather, they refine you. And through your struggles, you can find strength. And that strength is why we're here, is to talk about the importance of you within this organization. And you each have skills, insights, abilities, purpose for this organization. And even outside this organization, you are a gift. And we are greatly blessed to have you as a gift. And I'm blessed to be able to call you a brother and sister in arms. And I think that we sometimes lose track of the humanness of our force because of the mission. And we're so mission-focused, we're mission-driven. And what I want to urge our leaders is take time with your service members, even if it's just having lunch, chow with your service members. Everyone has to eat on drill. If you're a leader, don't be holed up in your office working on OERs or NCOERs. Get out and have 30 minutes with your service members. Get to know them one-on-one. Help them to build some trust so they know that you care and that they do matter. So that's really a summary of what I was wanting to talk about. So, and I know that personally there's been some struggles that I've been through in my life, and I've been able to get help, and I know that you've had that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday I talked to General McCarty about sometimes service members think, hey, us in senior leadership, we've never had any issues. And, that's just not the case. I know everybody that I know in senior leadership has had some type of issue at some point in their life. I remember after a deployment several years ago, I was gone for, I guess 120 days or something like that. And I've got a traditional marriage. My wife stays at home with the kids, homeschools them. I'm the breadwinner. I pay all the bills, each month. But when I came back from overseas, it was a little adjustment period, like we've all been through. There's an adjustment period of how things get back to normal. We had some disagreements at that point. We had, a young child. We had another one, a new second child, and we were snapping. And basically, my wife said, hey, we need to go talk to somebody.
Right.
And when we went to the counselor, she said, do you think we have a problem? She asked me, and I said, well, if my wife thinks we have a problem, then we have a problem.
Right.
And she kind of looked like no one's ever said that before, but it's true. So, what we did was we had a few sessions, I think 2 or 3 sessions, that it helped us communicate better. And to this day, we, probably about once a week, we'll sit down just to catch up over the week. And, you said this, I understood this. Oh, no, honey, that's not what I meant. I meant this. Oh, just by talking about those things that maybe fester over the course of a week. Right. That has really helped us in our communication. And, next week we're celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary. So I think that part was a key success to our, 20-year happily marriage with 3 beautiful kids and a growing family. So I think I just want to stress to people, if you need some help, ask for help. And that's the most important thing I tell people. It's not going to hurt your career. Hey, it didn't hurt my career. I'm the senior enlisted leader in the South Carolina National Guard. I reached out to a spousal counselor, and I'm here today. So we can tell you all this, but I'll give you straight up example of what has happened to me and where I am today. So, I just really want to share that story to communicate with the soldiers and airmen that we want you to, there's resources out there, and we want you to ask for them.
Chief, that's a powerful testimony that you provide. And what I imagine is that for every soldier and airman that is watching us, they have a story too. I can tell you that I have a story where there have been times that I needed help, and I sought for help, and I got it. And I would say that we as an organization need to remember that we have done a phenomenal job, I think, in looking after each other. Can we do better? Should we do better? Should we always pursue the doing better? Absolutely. But we have done a good job. We have to recommit ourselves to being our brother and our sister's keeper, right? And now with coronavirus, the constant discussion is, what is the new normal? I would submit that regardless of what the new normal is, we've got to make sure that we are incorporating steady state mental wellness into our normal business, right? So never before has this been more important, but I would tell you, I believe it's something that we have done. I go back to my enlisted days, and I remember my squad leader at Fort Jackson sitting under a tree and asking me how was I doing at school. It was at the the weapons range, and asking me how things were in my life. We've done it, and we know that the real key to success is down at the squad level, at the team level, and that the success stories for mental wellness is being reinforced in the armories and on the flight line. So we just have to find a way to ensure that we integrate this in, because our leaders are busy, our soldiers are busy. How do we integrate this to ensure that we are keeping an eye on the mental health of each other in everything that we're doing right now?
Right. I think there are a lot of stressors, sir, if I may add to what you're saying there, that there's so many stressors that have come, and COVID has produced several of them. But then we have the rest of life, whether it's children, whether it's our interactions, whether it's our jobs, and we've been isolated a lot because of that. And I think that's a part of it, because when we're talking about coping, so often we have certain strengths and certain things that are within us, each of us, and so we can access those, but they kind of hit a wall sometimes when we need something else. And so for me, I think you're exactly right. On the force level, the squad, having that battle buddy, having that conversation, that connection is so incredibly valuable. But it's also the other resources that are out there. When we're in the ditch, what is that? Sometimes we can dig out. Sometimes we have to look up. And sometimes we make it worse for ourselves. So kind of recognizing what that is and how can we do that, I think is such a important thing for us to do across the board for our mental wellness, our emotional wellness, our physical wellness, and our overall well-being is, to me, the largest part of what 2021 is going to be about. How do we do that in a world that's constantly changing? And there is a new normal, and we don't even know what that is yet. Right. And it's pretty normal to be abnormal in abnormal circumstances. So all of those things that we're experiencing are normal for us, but they may not be healthy for us. And those are two different things.
It's something, Ruth, that you provide along with the rest of service member family care is that resource, is that enabler piece, right? To finding the solution. But John is exactly right. Leadership and soldiership is decidedly human, and it is tougher now more than ever, whether it be through telework, whether it be through distance learning that we're doing in schools, for us to engage. But we've got to make sure we are engaging. And again, I go back to thanking our soldiers and airmen for what they've done to this point, because we have saved lives. They have saved lives. But being the enabler to the resources, but that presence, that presence and that interaction. There is no substitute, in my opinion, than the interaction and the presence.
Right, and there's in the book of Job was struggling. He lost everything, and there's a point in there where his friends came beside him. And they just sat next to him for 7 days, and they were in that ditch with Job. They didn't say anything. They weren't trying to fix him. They weren't trying to condemn him or judge him. They were just there. They were present. Right. And that is so much, I think, what we need to do. And you talked about building trust. And part of that starts with just coming alongside each other and saying, I'm in this ditch with you. I'm in this pit. I've been here. Let me help carry you out.
Right.
You know, one thing that I try to do is I've got a few people that every month I'll check in with. I'll call them or I'll text them, hey, how you doing? And just keep up with them, really. And I've had several times, man, Chief, today I just needed to talk to somebody, and you called. And I think maybe God had that in his mind that I was going to do that day. And I think if we just have a few people, regardless of rank or whatever, that we reach out to every month, just because we want to keep up with them, that can be beneficial.
And the last thing we want to do is create, and not create, but reinforce an environment that every month we're just checking the box.
That's right.
On mental health, you know, and sometimes we put commanders and first sergeants in that position by we give them the entire checklist of things they have to do for the month, and we say, okay, you got to get this done and check the box. If there is one thing that is not checked the box in this business, it is the mental wellness and the behavioral health of our organization. And again, I really believe the key to success is that NCO, that chief, and that soldier. The way they engage in this will prevent us from taking a check the box approach to this.
And the thing really is because we care. We care
Right,
about our soldiers,
absolutely.
and we care about our airmen, and that's really what I think it's all about. Is we love and we care for our soldiers and airmen.
I think I interrupted you.
No, it's okay, sir. Individual well-being is vital to having the well-being of the force, well-being of the mission. So I think it starts there, and I guess I was just going to say that I think sometimes we have those strengths within us, and we don't recognize it because we're kind of getting overwhelmed by the rest of the world, whatever those levels are. So I think sometimes to step back into an inventory of where we are, then we know better. We're better able to handle or share those things that are bothering us. And I think those are opportunities that we could certainly take to step back and look at what are we doing, what's really bothering us, what are our strengths, what can we handle by ourselves, what do we need to prioritize, or what do we need to do differently, and where do we need help, where do we need that help to get out, where do we need that helping hand. And John, when you were talking, compassion literally means going where the pain is. It's a downward motion.
Right.
So it is being with people where they are. And sometimes that's side by side. Sometimes that's carrying them.
Yeah. And with Job, where everyone messed up is when they started to fix him.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with trying to get help and resources, but the challenge is when you start condemning and judging instead of just coming alongside. So as I'm wrapping up my point, just understand that y'all are loved, okay? You are valued, and without you, we have no guard. Y'all are the backbone of this organization.
And I just wrap up by simply saying that always remember, in anything that you do, you are never alone. We're certainly never alone in what we do in our jobs and Army. You're never alone every day in life. This is a family. We operate like a family, and you are never alone.